Just a little update on the shed. We decided to put flooring in it next before I finish the siding. This is the only part I kind of cheated on. I bought pressure treated 4x4s. I could have cut these from cedar trees. But my wife is trying to push me to get this done so I can get the porch cleared off. Get rid of some of the clutter up there. Get everything moved out here so the porch doesn't look as cluttered up. And then we've got 3/4 sheeting here, pressure treated sheeting. We're just nailing on these joists. Had a little trouble with the squareness of the building. You can tell here how far out of square it is. Yeah, ideally this sheet should slide right up against the posts and meet up with that sheet, but it's off, so I'll have to measure the distances off up at the top, come back here and mark that distance away from the pole here, and then run a chalk line back to that corner and take my circular saw and cut that off, and then it should just slide right in and be flush at the top and be flush along the side with the piece that I've already nailed down. So I mean, ideally that's you don't want to have to do that, but this is the first thing I've built. I'm not a carpenter, so I'm learning. And I wish now that I would have, I've got the chainsaw mill. I wish now that I would have just squared these poles off, because then you wouldn't have, this pole here is thicker than the one in the middle. You wouldn't have those variances. But I like the look of the solid cedar post, and I wanted to have more material, as much material as possible to prolong the life of it. But you know, these are things you learn as you go, and the building is definitely firmed up. Before I put the floor in, you could shake it around pretty good, but now it's getting a lot more solid. And as I put more and more on here, I finish the siding and the roof, it should be pretty firm. I don't think it'll move much anymore. But something my dad taught me with the sheeting, you lay the two 8-foot pieces, but then on your next run you lay a 4-foot piece at the front, an 8-foot piece in the middle, and a 4-foot piece in the back. And the way you do that is just by cutting one piece in the halfway in the middle, and take that half that you've cut and move it to the back, and put your 8-foot piece in the middle. But what that does is it keeps the seam from running next. It keeps you from having a long seam. It kind of breaks that up, and it strengthens the floor, and so I'm doing that. I had a lot of block already that the last homeowner left here, so I had quite a bit of block I could use, and they left a huge pile of bricks over there. So I've been stealing some of those and putting them in here, supporting it on both ends, and one support in the middle. About 17 inches of drop from that 4x4 to this back 4x4 back corner. So you've got to make that up as you go along, and you just see that the posts keep getting higher and higher. We leveled off that front 4x4 and used that as our starting reference point. So everything will be square off of that. And we'll just, like I said, we'll have to, like this piece over here, I'll have to cut it to make it fit in. And then these here, I'll have to have some adjustments. But and then we came back and leveled everything off of that. To make it easier, we put a board along the edge here that was level with the front 4x4, and we just carried that same plane all the way around, all the way back to the back here, the back post, and then I had a surface to bring each 4x4 up to. Same thing on the other side, a board down the side that referenced that plane in the front. So I just carry that all the way back. They're 2 feet apart, so there's 9 runs, 16 feet deep, and it hangs off the back just maybe 2 inches or so. So I have to come in and trim that off. And then here in the back, I'll have a window framed out in the back, and we got some windows for free from a friend, some fixed windows, and I'll install one of those here, and then that's less distance I have to cover with the siding, so I don't have to manhandle a 12-foot log and cut siding 12 feet long. I can cut it to the frame, fit it to that frame I'm going to build all the way down. That saves me some work. But it just makes it easier to handle. If I'm handling a 6-foot log, it's a lot easier to handle on the mill than a 12-footer. And then you can see the door frame. This is the door frame I had. We had an office upstairs in the house that we gutted out, we removed it. And that's the door frame from the office, and the door is over there next to the house. But the door frame will just get mounted right on the floor, as close to the center between these 2 posts as possible. And then that'll be my entryway into the building. And then I'll put another window in here, and possibly another window above the door. I'll just have to see if it'll fit or not.